Hey guys, so I'm driving a little ways out. There's this place called, it's basically a Jeep dealership. So how do I even explain myself today? I have a few things going on, so I am not sure what exactly I'm doing, but I just want to talk to you guys. I'm driving right now. I feel like talking. I'm in a talkative mood. If you are just now tuning in, I got facial fillers and I'm doing a chemical peel, so my skin is all fucked up and my under eye fillers are puffy right now. They're recovering. So if you're watching this and you're like, what's going on with this girl's face, and you didn't listen to the first part, then you're probably going to still be wondering what's going on with my face. So that's it. Alright, so I am, and this is literally the best angle that I could get y'all at without you tilting over, because there's a way better angle down there, but the way that this damn camera is set up, it just wouldn't work. Or would it? Let me see something. Okay, do you guys mind this? Like, I don't know if you care or not. So yeah, that's the best literally that I can do. So I hope I'm in focus. I hope I'm in the camera right now, because I just basically fixed the camera, but I have to put the viewfinder down so that you can see me decently. Okay, so I feel like going on a little ride today. Well, I actually need to go deposit some money, some cash. This is basically like the last of my little cash savings that I'm depositing, because I just made some mistakes this month. And that's just a part of being an adult. It's like, when am I going to learn? But some of it good, some of it I'm like, I could have waited. I really didn't need to do that. I kind of overdid it a little bit, but that's whatever. That's besides the point. So that's what we're headed over to go do. But while I'm over on this side of town, I'm going to do what I always go do, and I'm going to go look at Jeeps. Because Jeeps are my dream car, and if you guys don't know this car is actually a lease. And since we got some time, if you're new to my channel, I'll just kind of catch you up on some things. Okay, so a couple things to know. 2 years ago, in 2017, I had a 2014 Dodge Charger that I drove off the lot brand new, and it got completely totaled out. Like, totaled out, okay? My insurance paid for it, but I owed a balance on it of like $4,000. My gap insurance wouldn't cover the whole thing because I missed a couple payments. Not that I even like missed them. I would pay my car note in advance, like a month or two, whenever I would do a study. But to them, that's considered missing a payment. So yeah, they own, like, my gap insurance only covered $2,000. I still owed like 20 something, I don't even know, maybe like $18,000 on the car, and then my insurance covered like $13,000, like its value or whatever. So that sucked. Then I had this note. They gave me like a 4 or 5 year loan where I would pay $100 a month. The interest was like $1,200 or so, or something like that. Yeah, so I just got fucked all the way in this whole situation. I ended up, like, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to get a car right now, because I told myself, I was like, the next car I get is going to be a Jeep. I'm so tired of spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a car that I don't even like. The least I can do is, if I'm going to have to pay all this interest, all this crap, you know, I have to at least like the car. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind wasting all this money, but can I at least like the car? You know, I got tricked into buying a 2014 Dodge Charger. Now I have like a new lease, no car, blah, blah. And I remember when I was riding the bus, oh my gosh, the comments, you guys were like always saying like, why don't you get a car? This girl on the bus, blah, blah, blah. And like for me, it just wasn't that big of a deal. It was like, okay, so what? It's the bus. Okay, so what? Now I can afford to Uber wherever I want to. I'm saving money for the car that I really want. You know, you're not paying my bills. Why do you even care if I'm on the bus or not? You know what I mean? I didn't understand that. So I went, let me see, the car wreck was in the summer. It was like July, I think. So August, September, October, November, December, January. So I went about February. I went about 7 months with no car. And I was was happy as can be because my Dodge was $500 and something a month. My insurance on that Dodge was $300 something a month. Plus, gas, car washes, maintenance, oil changes, all that good shit was going on the car. And I was always having to get oil changes because I was driving everywhere for money. Like, I would have to do studies, I would have to do hair, but I didn't have any steady income. So it was a big relief when I let that car go. You guys have no idea. Oh, cheap ass, crummy ass insurance tried to fix that car. And I was like, no. So my insurance can go up. Plus, I have a car note. No, let the insurance just rise. Do whatever you gotta do. Okay. So, fast forward, I move, and, you know, my mom moves, and we're closer to each other. So I'm seeing my mom all the time. My mom's car got, you know, it got totaled out because of Harvey. It got flooded out. So her insurance gave her some money to go buy her a car. Anyway, that was just a mess. She doesn't have a car. I don't have a car. So her friend Louise is like giving us rides. And I'm walking because, okay, the area that I live in doesn't have a bus line. But I can walk to like the nearby stores. And I even ended up getting me like a little job across the street from my apartments. Okay? So, I felt like I was cool. I was okay. My mom would not stop fucking pressuring me like she does a lot. Like she puts the pressure on me for a lot of things. Like she will just nag. You know how parents do? They'll try to put their values on you, their beliefs, what they think is the best, because what they think is the best for them, they think is the best for you. So she nagged me and nagged me and nagged me to buy a Volkswagen, to buy a car. She kept saying, you need a car. You can't keep going like this every day. Like, I'll be on the phone. They're like, did you look for a car? And look, with what money? I had got some school money for like grants and all that, you know, for my schooling with a school loan. But I was like, you know, let me see. So I started looking online for like a cash car. I couldn't find nothing. And even if I did find something, I would need a ride to go drive me far to go get the car, you know? And I only knew like 1 or 2 people who had a car, so that just wasn't working out for me. Finally, we rented a car, you know, so I would be renting a car, like this is what I would do. The area that I lived in was kind of like the suburbs, so we had like limited Uber there, and I would just rent a car. On the weekends, they had this thing where like it was $20, oh no, it was like $10 a day to rent the car. And that was with Enterprise. So I would, and Enterprise would come and pick you up. So it was called the weekend rate. So I would rent a car over the weekend, and I think for like 3 days, it was like $30 and some change, and everything came up to like $50. Literally under $50 for 3 days. All I have to do is put gas. Okay. I was like, you know, this is good for me. It was working for me. There were days that I did want to like go out and do stuff, but I would just wait till the weekend. I would just stay home, kind of vlog, do my stuff, my videos, blah, 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 or whatever. So, what happened? I think it was like, it was February last year. My mom bothered me so much, I finally was like, okay, let's go look. You know, so we started going to car lots, and she convinced me that I need to get a Volkswagen, so I'm like, okay, I'll listen to her. We started going to the Volkswagen parking lot, and, the first, you know, I saw a couple cute cars. You know, I saw the little Jettas or whatever, and I was like, ooh, these cars are small. Now, at the time, I was using my student loans, like, to pay down debt, like credit card bills, whatever, so that my credit could go up. And at the time, my credit was, like, low. It was so low, and I already knew that because I had completely paid off some things, that it was going to skyrocket. Like, I had things that were pending or whatever. So I was like, you know what, let's not get this car this week. Let's try to get it next week so that I can at least have a good interest rate. The car dealership told me, well, if you lease your car, you won't have any interest. And I was like, boom, sold. You know, that's great. You know, so I get down there, you know, the guy, he had been really patient with us. We had literally gone up there 3 or 4 times to go look at these cars. And never bought one. We just were looking. We even went one day on Sunday when they were closed, and we were looking, and I was like, that's the car. You know, I found this really cute Jetta. It was like a 2017. They were trying to get rid of them. Yeah, because last year was 2018, yeah. And it wasn't even all that expensive, and it was like an SEL. It was like a souped up one. Like souped up, okay? More high-tech than this one. It was really nice. And they had it, and it wasn't even that expensive. It wasn't even that expensive. When we went, like, I think it was like 17,000 or something. Had a sunroof. It was gorgeous. I mean, it was cute. You guys saw my car last year, okay? This is the first time I even had leather seats. We get down to the financing part, the leasing part, and he says 400 and something a month. And I was like, wait, what? I calculated and I was like, okay, 400 and something a month over 3 years. I said, that's like $15,000. Why is it so expensive? And he was like, that's just how it is. He's like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I thought you said there was no interest. You know, I thought that you guys weren't looking at our credit like that, you know. And it was, anyway, it just ended up being a big lie. I was talking, I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, like, I'm not going to pay for a car fully and then give it back to them. And she was like, that's her calling me right now. She was like, well, she's like, I don't know. I think you should do it. So I told him, I was like, you know what? Let me wait till next week. And then he gave me this whole spiel about the car probably won't be here next week. You know, we have really slashed these prices. Blah 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 blah. And then I was like, no. I was like, no. So I said, we're good. You know, let me just wait. And then he said, okay. But he's like, listen, this is the offer that I'm giving you. He's like, this is the lowest I can do for what you know, for what the bank is offering us for you right now. And he was like, and I can't guarantee you that this deal is going to be on the table. So that basically sold me. I was like, okay, fine, you know. So I ended up signing. I felt okay because it was a 3-year lease, and I didn't even think I could get a lease. 3 years sounded better to me than 6 or 7 years. You know, like 60 months, 72 months, 84 months. Hi, can I get a deposit slip? Okay. So, you know, obviously he got me last year. That was my fault. You know, I should have just, even my car salesman, he was so cool, like so trusting. Remember, he even came over to my house. He actually picked us up to go get the car, and he came over to my house afterwards or whatever. Like later on that week, he took me out to dinner because, you know, it was my birthday, all that stuff, guys. Okay, so but he was a new car salesman, and he didn't have a lot of info. He didn't have a lot of knowledge about selling cars. And so I remember I even told him, I was like, you know that they do have interest on the lease, it's just all built in, right? And he was like, no. He said, I didn't know that. He's like, I never had a new car before. And I'm like, you know, because he's a salesman. They don't teach salesmen about the finance part. Like, they're all, like, the car salesmen are so dumb. And like, I've never met one that knew like both sides unless they worked in both sides. So I drive off the lot, and I'm kind of happy. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, we got a car. My mom was so happy, and it was like, you know, once again, I'm doing something that makes my mom happy. Like, that's how it always ends up with me. Like, and here's the thing, guys. Okay. If my face is white, I'm sorry, y'all. Literally, like, I have on so much SPF 50. I could share it with you through the screen. Okay, so guy is like looking at me. He's an old man in the back seat. He keeps looking at me, and I don't know what he's looking at me for. Just like, can you stop looking at me? This girl, she's just depositing cash, and like the guy next to me is already gone. The person next to me, I'll keep my window down so I can talk to you guys, but talk to her too. Yeah, so somebody always needs something. You know, whenever I get money, it's like a family member needs something. And it just, like, my money's never felt like my money. It doesn't matter if I, like, this last turnaround, stood out in the fucking cold every single night, 20, 30, 40 degree weather, came back, and, like, my money wasn't really mine. Like, I spent some money on things that I wanted, but I should have had a lot more money than I came back with for my savings, just because of the way I was spending, the way I was, thank you. This is the way I was allocating everything, and things happened, and you know, things happen. So I'm just showing you guys, I'm just showing you an example of like my train of thought. A lot of times whenever I am trying to do things for myself, I don't really have time. Like, I just make these very rash decisions. So I'm not blaming anybody. I just, whatever. I always sometimes it feels like, does anybody have my best interest in mind? Like, I really be wondering that, because I kept telling my mom, I made a very big deal about, like, you know, I really need, you know, I'm not the best with making decisions. Like, sometimes, like, my anxiety really messes things up for me, and I end up making big life choices that I regret, you know. And I had my mom with me there as moral support, and it would be like fun, you know, we could possibly roll off with the car. And I was sitting there telling her, like, I don't think so, you know, I don't think we should do this. And she was just like, you need a car. And I'm just like, let's wait till next week, you know what I mean? So I ended up getting my last car, and it wasn't bad, you know. My notes were $100 less than my last car, and I ended up using her insurance. And then she couldn't even, like, she was pissing me off because she was making a big deal talking about, like, I can't be on her insurance, even though it was my insurance, it would have been $300 or something, but it was her insurance, it was only like $130 a month. So the car was, like, really reasonable for me, and I was paying full rent at the time. I didn't have a roommate. She made a big deal, so I ended up you know, not being on her insurance, even though she promised me. She was like, I'm gonna help you. She's like, if you get this car, you know, I'll contribute, like, I'll put gas money, I'll you know, let you go on my insurance, you know. She told me that, and then within, I would have to say, like, a month or two, she backed out of it. So now, once again, I'm stuck with all the bills. Like, it just gets frustrating, you know. And I get it, she's scared because, you know, having your kid on your insurance, like, that could, you know, whatever. Even though you promised, like, yes, it's fine, and then I got into this damn loan, and then now you're a month in, you back out, and you're like, I can't do it. So now and then you couldn't even help with the car note anymore, you know. So because when I first got the car, she was doing her part, like, she was actually, you know, doing what she said, blah blah blah. And yeah, so that took no time whatsoever. See, that was just frustrating. I even forgot about that. And it's just a lot of times, like, I really am alone on these things, and that is so discouraging. So I told myself, you know, I was like, you know what, I can't do this no more. Like, if nobody's gonna have my back truly, then I don't need to, I need to make these decisions for myself. I need to be selfish. If I need to be going broke happy. I don't need to be, like, going broke because I'm trying to make somebody else happy. And that's, like, what I decided this year. I truly decided I'm not doing this no more, and I'm not playing, you know. Like, it never works out in my favor trying to be, you know, just, and it feels good. Like, whenever I see my mom happy, that makes me happy, you know. But at what cost? At what cost? So fast forward a few months, I get with Ryan. Ryan's paying all the bills. At what cost, though, that I have to deal with him. And I wasn't really too worried about my car note. It was nice. I was making my money, contributing, blah blah blah. And December comes around. Me and him, we break up at the beginning of December. A couple days after Christmas, I ended up getting this SUV. I traded in my old car. They just put that onto this new one and gave me a deal, so-called deal. Now, my credit was good. Like, my credit has been consistently good. I was able to get my first credit card last year. I opened up another one this year. I was able to get my first non-secured credit card. So I closed that $1,000 secured credit card that I had with Discover, that I put the deposit on. And then I ended up leasing this car. Now, because I had negative equity on the other car, they put like $120 on top of this note. So this one, I could have leased for like $290 or like $300 or something like that. Now it's for something, and that's just being honest here. And it's another 3-year lease. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm like, you know what? Even though I love this car, look, I mean, I actually do like this car. This is like the first car I've gotten where I'm like, you know what? I like the color. I like the features. I like how it looks on the outside. This is like a really cute car. It's big. I can load stuff. Like, this is cute. It's not what I want. This is what I would want in a bad situation. And this is what I got in like a not so good situation. But yeah, so with all that being said, I am looking to get something else. So this girl, I saw her online. She sold her lease, and all she had to do is pay like the leasing fees, and she sold it to this big company in Houston, like this big car company. And I'm like, what the? So I think I've already paid this car like 2 months in advance. Like, I don't owe this car note until August. I paid it back in May. I paid like up until August. So I'm gonna keep driving this car. I'm gonna keep building my credit. One of my subscribers, she's been helping me with things, and I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, that I am able to finance my dream car. I really, really, really want a Jeep so bad. Like, that's like the only car I've ever wanted, ever. And I want to get the one that I want, so I'm just doing a little bit of research. That's what we're doing today, basically, guys. Like, it's been all about like manifesting. I've been really working on putting in effort for things, doing my research, and not making stupid decisions, and not being so gullible, and just being so open and being so nice, and just letting people take advantage of me. Because in general, that's what a lot of people have done. A lot of my family members, they've done it. And I've let friends take advantage of me and stuff, and it doesn't work. Because if I can't get off my feet, if I can't get on my feet, how am I supposed to help anybody else? I'm drowning and I'm still helping people, you know? It doesn't work. It doesn't. So yeah, I'm just looking around. I know kind of like what my budget is. I know what I'm willing to pay, and I'm like, look, if I was willing to pay $800 a month, well, that was with the car note. You know, the car note was $5 something, and then the insurance was, and I paid that for, let me see, 2014 to 2017. So for 3 years, I spent almost, probably like $30,000 on a car. I'm pretty sure that I can, you know, spend a little more on my dream car. You know what I'm saying? So I've already decided how I'm gonna do this. I'm probably gonna like open up a new credit card within the next month or two, just because like, if you open up a new credit card, you get 0 interest, and you can use your credit card to pay for your car. So I may open up like 1 or 2 credit cards, put a large down payment down, so I can be paying off the credit card every month, and having like majority of this car paid with no interest. You know what I'm saying? And just like get that down, because I've already wasted years of my life. Like, all the money that I've spent on cars, I literally could have bought a fucking, I could have bought like a house. Like, I spent a lot of money on cars. So it's just like I said, if I'm gonna waste my money, if I'm gonna have high interest, at least let it be the car that I want. Like, and this is the car that I want. I don't know why I've always wanted a Jeep so bad, and I want the Sahara. So it's either the Sahara or the Rubicon. That's what I want. And I'm just like, you know, let me just do this, stop thinking about it, and I'm just gonna be looking. I'm just about to go outside and look. I know they're gonna try to make me test drive. You can do whatever you want, but it's not gonna work anyway. Let me see, where is this? And you guys have to understand, it's so bright out here. It's really bright, and I'm just trying to make sure that I don't mess up my chemical pill. But yeah, okay, so with my mom, she comes from a different time, y'all. So, you know, I get it. Like, she's from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Her mind is stuck there. They didn't have to worry about credit and all that crap, you know? So she doesn't understand it. But she doesn't understand that, like, it's costing me. It costs me to make bad decisions, and it costs me in a big way, and it really affects me mentally. I think about these things every day, and my mom doesn't get that, you know? And it makes me depressed. I've been so depressed for so long, and nobody, like, seems to get it, and nobody seems to understand why. And that's why it's even more frustrating, because I'm making these big life decisions, trying to make other people happy, and they have no fucking clue what I go through every day, like what I'm feeling and stuff. So, you know, it's just like, okay, so let's look at this car first. So that's why I'm going by myself today to go look. Yesterday my mom came along with me, but it was raining and it was closed, so it wasn't all that great of a look. But today, we looking today. Okay, so this is the first contender. This one is orange. I never thought I would like orange, but this one's actually not that bad. It's like it's a burnt orange. But that one is 50,000. After taxes, it'll be 52. Something. And I don't know if they would even have a deal on something like that or not, but it's kind of cute. I like it. Oh, and it has a free lift. This one is, I don't like soft tops, so I mean, there's no point in me even looking at this one. It's 32,000, so. These are so much higher than my car, like way higher, way wider, so there'd be more room. Let's see what we're looking at. This one's actually kind of cute. Ooh, and it's a hard top. That's an unwrangler. Oh, unlimited sport. Huh. Let's see, what are they looking at for this one? 35. Wait a minute. 38,000. Okay, so they took off a few. I would prefer like silver though. I used to always want a white Jeep so bad when I was younger. Now I'm cool with this. Ooh. It's open and it's hot. I think I'm gonna do a test drive, but like at least I've narrowed it down. Before I didn't know what I wanted. I was like, oh, I think I want a, you know, or unlimited. I didn't know the difference, but I've done some research and I know the difference and I know exactly what I want. Like I want to go off-roading, and I'm hoping that, you see these bars? This is what I was making sure they had on the cars. Oh, it's hot. It is so hot. Wow, I'm surprised nobody's coming here to come get me. This one's 40,000. See, this is something that I would buy right here. I know they probably see me with this camera and they're like, this girl's not serious. Well, you're right, bitch, I'm not. Well, at least not right now.